All right, folks, so 48.6% of inventory spike in January of 2025. So what does that really mean? If the supply starts to increase to a point, that drop in interest rates will not be able to offset. Well, it means different to different people. And we have discussed many different options, many different types and styles of real estate on this channel, and we will touch on some of these in this video. However, what does it mean when you see a surge of inventory, a spike, a flood of inventory? So let's get right into the video. So basically what happens is more choice for a buyer to choose. And then when you have all these sellers scratching their head, trying to come up with a strategy with their realtor and adjust or offset these changes, well, few things. It could be challenging, it could be difficult on so many different levels. So level one is obviously time. So why is my house sitting on the market when, people were selling, last year faster? Well, due to inventory, right? So most of the time is the inventory that dictates, right? Aside from other things, bank interest rates, local political situations, international, you name it, right? But inventory is something, right, that dictates on that demand, right? Like the demand for real estate, you have to understand, it's always there. But depending on that supply, that will dictate the price, right? Because the demand all of a sudden can shrink. If you have 1,000 buyers looking and you have 1,000 homes, we can say it's fair, right? 1,000 people per 1,000 homes. We're not going to sell because some buyers are not going to like it. But if you have 1,000 buyers and you have 100,000 homes, all of a sudden things change. So what changes really? So the price, and this is it's a perception issue also with these sellers that are looking, right? And they're like, so but how come that property sold for 1.5 and I'm sitting here and my property is listed at 1.5 and I know that my property used to sell, past tense, used to sell for 1.5. But if you start to decipher the whole cycle, you understand, look, few years ago, your small bungalow with no garage attached to it sold for 1.5 because the demand was high, shortage of listings and all of that stuff, right? High demand, right? Buyers were there, money was cheap. All right, so today, yes, a home in your neighborhood sold for 1.5, but it was a large bungalow. It had two attached to the house or detached from the house. So it's a difference. So people for the same amount of money can get a much, much, much better product, right? So it's either you're going to offset your price because the inventory is spiking. And if you are subscribed, I want to thank you, but if you're subscribed, you watch these videos. Last year, summertime, I made videos about that. Surge of inventory is going to impact you. It's going to impact the price and all of that stuff. And even though, because it was a talk about mortgage rates and they will be feathering down, and I said, yes, fine, it will help. However, if the supply starts to increase to a point, that drop in interest rates will not be able to offset. Do you understand? So regardless, right? Like you can put mortgage rates to zero. If you have 3 million homes for sale in Toronto today, what will happen, right? And we have examples of that, in some cities and towns across Canada, in some cities and towns across the United States and whatnot, right? Due to so many reasons, right? Employment, work, high increase in listings, right? Like one of those examples, obviously dramatic one, but is Detroit, right? A lot of things shifted economically, but then the supply rose so high, Nobody really cared. You could have bought a house for $1,000, right? So like if you're thinking of actually listing your property, or if you're already in the market, please be careful in adjusting these things, because most of the time it will be the price that has to be adjusted accordingly in order to get the same result. So as an example, we have a winter month right now, February. I'm sure you're not driving with the same equipment and you're not driving the same speed. If it's snow, if it's wet, if it's black ice, if it's icy and all of that stuff, right? So you have to allow yourself longer stopping distances. You need proper gear and you need more awareness. It's the same thing, right? So stay safe out there. I wish you all the best luck and all of that stuff that goes with it. I hope you have a prosperous sale and you benefit from it. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.